This is Business Week Armenia, CivilNet's weekly economic digest. Here's what's making business headlines in Armenia this week. Nikol Pashinyan has called on the government to take control of Armenia's main power distributor after law enforcement detained the company's billionaire owner, who in recent days has become an outspoken critic of the prime minister. Observers say this could threaten Armenia's attractiveness to foreign investors, even as Pashinyan has repeatedly said improving the country's business environment is a priority for his administration. Events moved quickly throughout the week, starting Tuesday evening when law enforcement raided Samvel Karapetyan's Yerevan home and detained the tycoon, allegedly for making calls for regime change. The charges stem from comments Karapetyan made earlier in the day defending the Armenian Apostolic Church, whose leadership has come under sustained criticism by Pashinyan in recent weeks. If found guilty, Karapetyan, who holds both Armenian and Russian passports, could face up to 5 years in prison. Karapetyan, the owner of the Moscow-based Tashir Group conglomerate and one of Armenia's richest men, maintains his innocence, and his lawyer has called the charges politically motivated. In comments the next day, Pashinyan called the government to nationalize Electric Networks of Armenia, or ENA, which Karapetyan bought from the Russian holding company Inter-RAO a decade ago. Pashinyan has denied the move is related to his feud with Karapetyan, instead insisting the utility is a mismanaged but strategically important asset and should come under public ownership. ENA, which holds a monopoly on Armenia's power distribution system, has faced mounting public criticism since last year, when outages started becoming increasingly frequent across Yerevan. After a string of blackouts last summer, Pashinyan acknowledged ENA's management had become a serious problem, but pointedly sidestepped a reporter's question about breaking the company's monopoly. Observers say nationalizing ENA could deter foreign investment in Armenia, which Pashinyan has made a priority for his administration. Initiating a process of forced renationalization, especially without compensation, will inevitably damage Armenia's investment attractiveness. Setting such precedents is extremely dangerous, economist Haikaz Fanyan wrote on Facebook. In addition, Fanyan raised the possibility that taking control of ENA could result in a lengthy and potentially costly international arbitration case for the government, which is already facing a $1.2 billion lawsuit in Washington over an unrelated investment dispute. ENA's potential takeover would also have echoes of previous decisions by Pashinyan's government to take substantial stakes in a number of large and strategically important enterprises, often in unclear circumstances. Those include key mining projects and a major telecommunications firm. Karapetyan's arrest also risks derailing Armenia's relations with Russia, which have already frayed significantly in recent years, even as Yerevan remains highly dependent on Moscow economically. Reacting to Karapetyan's detention, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said Moscow is closely monitoring the situation. Meanwhile, support for the billionaire poured in from the Armenian Apostolic Church, which polls as the country's most trusted institution, and from former President Robert Kocharyan, who leads Armenia's main opposition party. You can find more information and all the latest developments up now on our website at civilnet.am. And in other news, Armenia's central bank said this week it will hold interest rates unchanged at 6.75%, citing increased global insecurity amid US President Donald Trump's trade war and the escalating conflict in the Middle East. Uncertainty surrounding US economic policies remains elevated. Heightened tensions in international trade relations, along with the sharp escalation of geopolitical conflicts, have significantly increased the risks of potential disruptions to supply and value chains, the central bank said in a press release. Continuing, the central bank noted that in the second quarter of 2025, 12-month headline inflation accelerated, reaching 4.3% in March, while 12-month core inflation edged up slightly, standing at 2.8%. It marks the third time in a row that the central bank has declined to lower interest rates since mid-2023, when it switched to an easing monetary policy, cutting rates by a cumulative 400 basis points. And as always, keep following CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.